But now that you've done all of this, Neelima, what do you think essentially a human being needs in order to be happy?
Be happy. Mm, they need good health, really, really good health. Because if you're not healthy, you just cannot be happy. You cannot even begin to be happy.
Uh-huh.
Um, in order for good health, you need good nutrition and correct movement and the right mindset. So all three things are really important. With the I think the WHO definition of health, it's not just the absence of disease or infirmity, but of physical, mental, social, psychological, and sexual well-being, because my background is from sexual health. So the second thing would be actually some sort of community or interaction that allows you to contribute to the people around you. Your sense of contribution is a huge part of your feelings of fulfillment and satisfaction. Because happiness is a big kind of cloudy word.
Yeah.
It means so many different things to so many different people. But the ability to feel joy and satisfaction is much more understandable. And so having the feeling that you're making a contribution to people around you, to the creatures around you, may not always be people, but if it's animals, and that you're making a difference. And what you're doing allows you to sleep happily at night. So there's a lot of women I talk to, I say, you're healthy when A, you've got a good appetite, you're shitting and pissing normally, because those are essential functions. And you can sleep well at night. When you've got these four things, then you're reasonably healthy. If any of these four get disturbed, then your health is not good. If your health is not good, it's very difficult to be happy.
And coming back to WildFit, because that seems to be such an integral part of who you are today.
Yeah.
And
I would have never imagined it. I would have never imagined it. It's,
yeah. And I remember the talk that you recently had given, I was part of. And I love the way the simplicity of living is all about just understanding the basics.
yes.
And so, if you can just put it in a nutshell of what exactly is WildFit and why should everyone even know about it, forget understanding it deeply, but just be aware of what is the concept behind it. What would you want to tell us, Neelima?
WildFit was founded by Eric Edmonds, and he came upon it by accident as well when he was looking at a magazine about how elephants in the wild can survive up to like 70, 80, or 90 years, and elephants in captivity only survive 9 or 10 years. And it wasn't the fact that they were on a wild diet, they were on their diet. And that's how he chanced upon this. Actually, the human beings don't need to be on any other diet than the human diet. We went on a search of what the human diet was. We spent a lot of time with many of the ancient tribes, one of which is called the Hadza tribe in Africa. And from there began the search for nutritional anthropology. So WildFit is a merging of food psychology and nutritional anthropology to instill behavior change, because you can give somebody a diet and they're not going to follow it, because the programming we go through from our childhood, through culture, through family stuff is so much that there's always a doubt about what we're doing is right or wrong. But the fact is, when you restore your body to how it evolved, your body already knows. As you have that information in your genes, your body already knows that it's supposed to live through seasons. Your body already knows that yes, it's supposed to be having, this rich variety of vegetables. Your body already knows how to extract the best nutrition if you're a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian. Remember, human beings were eating meat. That's why you and I exist today, is because they were meat eaters. And it's only since grains came about that human beings are surviving enough to reproduce. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's good for us. So all of these principles, these behavioral change that is done through this 90-day period, which is now called WildFit, which he called. And wild, it's called wild because wilding something is taking it back to its origins, and that is why it is WildFit. So you're rewilding the human person to what the human diet is. Not the detox diet, not a temporary diet, not the summer diet, not the bikini diet, nothing of that sort. We're going back to human diet. But like I remember one of them asked about, what about Ayurveda? What about so and so diet? And the thing is that you don't call it a diet because it isn't one. You basically first you're animal, then you're a mammal, then you're an ape, then you're an hominid. And each of these evolutions has got, you've let go of certain processes and you've taken on new processes. Our gut, we don't manufacture vitamin C. Some chimpanzees do, some varieties of chimpanzees do. The chimpanzees don't suffer with vitamin C deficiency, but we do. You can have the best diet on the planet, but you just take away vitamin C, you're going to suffer, you're going to die, not just suffer with problems. And that's what we see today. If you look everywhere around you in society, you see people, the fact that there is obesity, it's not that they're eating too much. It's the fact that what they're eating doesn't give their body enough nutrition. So their body holds on to the fat resource for leaner times because the body is starving in the face of life. That's pretty much what our food today is. It's lacking in so much nutrition, nutrients that our body needs. So our body doesn't release the fat easily. Hypertension or diabetes, all of these illnesses, they're not the fault of the people. It's not because they're eating too much. It's just not available. You go to the market today and we don't get the variety of vegetables. And I lived in Bhutan. I did 6 months in Bhutan as a associate professor. There's so much more variety of greens available there. Our markets don't. Our markets only produce the commercially viable.
True.
Yeah, in palak and stuff. So that is what WildFit teaches you, is how to go back to your evolutionary roots, how to eat, how your human origins ancestors would have eaten, and then to use powerful psychological techniques to counter the programming that's been pushed into you from your childhood about what you should and shouldn't eat, how you can getting over those psychological bits, and then helping you design a plan for yourself so you never need to go on another diet ever again.